adoption was always something that was there, wasn't it? It was something that we always talked about, and we'd always liked the idea of.
With the sort of people we are, because we just went off and got married on a whim, we were talking about children, weren't we? And we decided...
We just always thought that we'd have children, didn't we?
And a large family. We just talked about everyone being on the sofa together in a big gang.
I've always loved children, always had that instinct of being motherly to all children, my nieces and my nephew. Being there with my friends' children, just looking after them and having them parties and goodness knows what. My love for children was just growing and growing. So I wanted to explore options of having other kind of children, or whether that was fostering or adoption at that particular time.
I guess we made the decision to adopt as a way of addressing that question of how to raise a family or how to have a family as a same-sex couple. It just felt like the kind of, I suppose, the obvious route for us. We didn't kind of consider anything else.
I did go down the fostering route to start off with. Just thought that influenced more children that way. But then was redirected to adoption, which turned out to be the absolute best decision ever.
We looked at all the different ways you could adopt, because there's different charities and associations. But we just chose the council, we thought.
Yeah, we realised we liked the idea of it, but we didn't really know
what's involved.
Yeah, it was just the fact that we wanted children, and yeah, we knew nothing about the process, did we? So we literally just looked up the number on the website, didn't we, and gave them a ring.
You know, we're game, we want to have a look at the process. And
they sent somebody round, didn't they? We see her in the village, actually.
She's local, she came round, had a chat with us.
I looked online, and then after looking online I found out about the VVC. So I contacted them via telephone, and they sent me a letter inviting us to an open day. There was just a brief presentation telling us all about adoption and about the process. A lot of it we had already researched prior to that. We had an information evening in Ponty in the offices, which gave us a little bit more information. The next thing was a visit. After that course was an initial visit where they took lots of information. So you made sure your house was nice and sparkling.
Claire, our social worker, came. She sort of, I guess it was more of an introduction, so that she could sort of, give us a bit more detail about what the process would look like later on. She also wanted to have a look at how we were set up. Did we have room for children? Was the house kind of suitable to house children? And then she wanted to know a bit more about us, sort of about our experiences, our family backgrounds, and what contact we'd had with children up to that point.
She was really honest as well, so I found it quite refreshing as the fact that she would be explaining things to us about the process, about what she was looking for, and then we would have to explain to her what we could give and what we could provide.
The next stage for us, if we were moving forward, was to attend this 3-day training course. So our take on it was that it was a fantastic 3 days, extremely informative, very sort of emotionally involving.
That was a real eye-opener for us, wasn't it? It was very intense 3 days.
The course in some aspects can be very challenging because it brings up certain behaviours you might actually encounter when the children are placed, and you think, can I actually deal with that if that's what my child would actually have?
It is 3 days of really trying to understand the full extent of what sort of hardships potential children, the children potentially end up adopting might have gone through. Some really, really difficult things, in fact, to hear and to deal with, so that by the end of it, I suppose, it's very much a case of challenging you to know whether or not you intend to go forward.
It made us think about certain things that maybe we could handle and maybe things that we could not handle, and I kind of think it took a lot of the guilt away, because you feel guilty and you feel quite ashamed to be able to say that you don't want to be carers and you want to be parents. Throughout the course, it made you confident enough in yourself and in each other that you could actually say that and be honest, and the social services team were really happy to hear that. They were happy to hear that you thought about it and you had the confidence to say that.
We learned so much in that 3 days, very intense.
Just about yourselves, what you start thinking about what you could cope with, in relation to what the children might.
It's the reality of the situation, isn't it? The reality of modern adoption, I think, and the backgrounds that these children will have, that it's not newborn babies, relinquished babies, one of the phrase. It's, they will come with baggage.
For me, as a single adopter, there was a book called Flying Solo, which was really useful in terms of how would you deal with certain situations with a child and just you. So how would you, for instance, meet an appointment, but you had your child home from school ill? Little things like that you think, oh, I need to think about that.
We finished the 3-day training course. We decided that we were absolutely still going to proceed, clear in our minds about what it was we were going to be able to deal with and what it was we wanted as an outcome, I suppose.